Gridiron Facebook Live. It is day 4. I am joined by Marc Henry, Matt Davidson. I'm, of course, Chris Daly, and we're going to talk about the game that just ended. So tell us who just ended.
The Highland Park Scots win again. We call it the Scotty Magic, myself and Matt,
Nice.
over Shadow Creek. The score was 27-17. Again, Coach Allen, what can you say about him?
Yeah, exactly. And tell you what, I'm going to hold you there, let y'all get into detail after I bug out. But then we're also going to talk about the next game. Go ahead and tell them which that one is.
Next game, we're going to have Longview, and we're going to have West Brook coming down from the Houston area, Beaumont West Brook. It's going to be really good action. Both teams are very good. I've already made it known to everybody that I was going to pick Longview. I know it's, some people do pick them, some people don't.
Oh, yeah. No, it's Longview all the way for me. I love that story. I love Coach King. His son's playing. But, again, we'll get into that later. And also going to try to pull up one of the TexAgs guy, get him on maybe
Talk
between
recruiting.
those. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
sir.
Talk some
Yes,
recruiting.
sir.
So I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
bug out and let you guys just jump into it and
All right.
talk about the last game.
All right.
I'll be back in a minute.
Well, the Scots came out on top. Chandler Morris is his team now. Also on the defensive side, Prince Dorba came up with 6 tackles, 4 solo. I mean, the guy was all over the place, taking around the guy from Shadow Creek, which was number 6, Isaiah Harper, and also number 2, Jamarian George. They have been a second-half team all year, Shadow Creek. This was their first year varsity, first-year school. So it was a great game, great atmosphere. I mean, the stadium was full up to about 3 or 4 levels. I mean, it was deafening. What do you think about the atmosphere also?
Man, there's a lot of people there, a lot of people in the stands. You saw a lot of people from Shadow Creek that didn't agree with a lot of the play calling that was going on, and then a lot of the referees that were officiating, I guess. But, Highland Park gets the job done. There were some calls that got made against both teams. But also there was a touchdown that a lot of people thought was a touchdown, but they used instant replay, and then they decided that it wasn't a touchdown. I think it's a little different. People aren't used to that. But, with it comes what it is. I mean, when you want instant replay, you can't have it both ways.
Right.
You're either going to get it or you're not going to get it. And the NFL has it, college football has it, and now state championship football in Texas has it.
Well, I think that just tells you the magnitude that Texas high school football is now. It's its own show. I mean, if you guys could be right there on the field like we are and have this access, it's a production. Cameras and to the pageantry, to everything that you want in football is right here at the state championship finals. I mean, Highland Park has been here, done that, but also with Chandler Morris coming in, it's his first year being a starting quarterback. Yeah, big shoes to fill. John Stephen Jones is etched in stone there. I mean, you got to look at what he brought to the table this year. Talk about Chandler Morris.
So Chandler Morris comes in as a quarterback that not a lot of people know about. I do. I've done my due diligence and research. Of course, I live out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, so we get to see him. His father is, of course, Chad Morris, coach that was at SMU. Then he went to Arkansas. Now he's at Arkansas. Chandler Morris has stayed out here. He still lives out here with his mother, so I'm glad they stayed out here. Highland Park is very thankful that he stayed out here, and Chandler Morris led this team to victory as a junior. I mean, he's a great quarterback at that age, and he's only going to get better with age. I think Highland Park, you could see them back here again next year possibly.
I agree with that. I think they have Prince and Chandler coming back for the senior year. So you can just start. You got one icon on the offense and one on the defense. 2 leaders, 2 captains. I mean, why can't they come back? They got Coach Allen. I mean, they're set up for another run.
I mean, you heard it in the press conference. Someone asked, they said, Coach Allen, can you clear it up? Are you going to be back next year? And he said, yeah, I'll be back. And then his players were excited. So I guess his players weren't totally sure if he would be back next year. But that's good for Highland Park to have that because he is a coaching legend. And thank God for Highland Park, he'll be coming back.
Now, let's talk a little stats here. Shadow Creek had 14 first downs. Highland Park had 17. I think the big difference is in the passing yards, which Highland Park led with 297. Only 88 on the ground, but they were confident in what they did. They made the key plays when they wanted to. There was a little bit now Shadow Creek has been a second-half team all year, and they showed that. Jamarian George had a long touchdown run to kind of bring them back. They got it within 10. They had a 4th down play that Prince Darbo made a big stop
sack.
there.
Yeah, he got a sack.
He got a sack. So, I mean, these guys were there, but they just couldn't come up at the end there. They came up a little shorter. Shout out to Shadow Creek, who's a first-year school here in Texas. That's big. You don't do that on the varsity level on the first year. And coming from the Houston area, hey, that's where I grew up. That's where I played. Shout out to H-Town. Hey, it's hard to make it out of there.
Yes,
when I was a kid, it was getting to the Astrodome. Now they're getting the NRG. They made it to Texas. They made it to the Texas Pinnacle, the top in the state championships. So, hey, look out for Shadow Creek to be there in the near future also.
Yeah, I mean, their school was built, but 3 years ago they were doing JV. Now they're doing varsity, first year varsity competitive. So it's pretty awesome. I think that we can definitely look forward to seeing this team in the future. They got a lot of young talent. I know that they're going to look back on that game and they're going to say, well, our quarterback got hurt, and if he wouldn't have got hurt, maybe things would have been a little bit different, but we'll never know.
I mean, you could say that he did hit the long touchdown run. I think he gave it his all. And talk about putting everything on the line, laying everything on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you do in the state championship. But for guys that are former players like me, we got something for you. If you're a legend in the game, if you played high school football in the 90s or the 80s, you can go on Lone Star Gridiron now, and you can make your team. You can bring back teams like the 1990 championship Aldine team, which I played against. Friday Night Legends is the board game now. You can go on to Friday LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood. Build your own team from scratch now. You can even bring back Dallas Carter. You can bring back the Duncanville team from 1988.
You can even bring Miles and all them. It's just something pretty cool, and if you're a sports nerd like we are, I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
So go to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood. Check out the board game, Friday Night Legends. I mean, guys, Friday nights, that's what we live for. Also, check us out at Top Texas Prospects on Twitter. We also, myself and Matt, LL, Dan Keck, we're for the players. We're here to help guys get recruited. That's what we're here to do. And along with Lone Star Gridiron, this is what we do now. So let us know. Hit us up. We're also going to bring in one of the recruiting experts from the Texas A&M Aggies. Slide on in.
All right.
All right. He's jumping in here. Give us your name.
Jason Howell, Senior Recruiting Analyst, TexAgs.com.
One of my guys right here.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Now, Jason, this kind of goes in with the early signing period. I mean, you guys had a big class to come in.
Yeah.
My man, D-Man, right?
Oh, yeah.
West Mesquite, big-time receiver. Talk about some of the guys that make this class.
Well, you mentioned D-Man, Dalen Wright. He's definitely one of those. Damani Richardson, two guys that they've grown up together playing ball. So, you know, that was a nice little combo on offense and defense. A couple guys here in the Dallas area, Brian Williams, big leg, Caden Davis from Coppell.
Yes,
so,
sir.
I mean, they really wreck shop with a lot of guys, a lot of the top guys in the state. You got DeMarvin Lee. Yeah, you got Kenyon Green. You know, they pretty much, when it comes to recruiting at a high level in the state of Texas, I think Texas A&M fans and the coaching staff and everybody around the program, they definitely feeling pretty excited right now and really liking the bright future there.
Talk about the state championship games that you've seen and what type of players that are being prospected for Texas A&M.
Well, the last game with Highland Park, you saw Chandler Morris there have a big game. He's a guy that's on the radar with his dad being an Aggie. Arkansas, you got Oklahoma, you got some big schools there. It's kind of hard to, pass off Arkansas right now with that over there. So, but Prince Dorba, what he did, he doesn't have that A&M offer, but he's a guy that's on that radar right now, and a guy they're really looking at. Xavier Alford out of Shadow Creek. You saw his ranginess. He was number 4 out there, just patrolling that back end, getting sideline to sideline, and on several plays had that one-handed pick.
Yeah.
Did a lot of good things out there. It's there's some guys out here. Haynes King will be a guy to watch. AP Player of the Year.
6A.
Yeah. Well, and state overall.
So you're thinking Longview can get it done?
And That would be my pick right now,
Mine
but
too.
it's hard to
Can't
go
sleep on
against
Westbrook.
Yeah, you can't
Westbrook.
sleep on him.
Man, Westbrook's got some guy, and Tascosa really gave him a run for it last week.
Right.
They, Longview got out and storming back. So there's even if what we've seen in these last few games, even if there's a margin there, it can be closed in a hurry. Nobody wants to go down without a fight here in these state championship games.
Now, Jason, back to the recruiting part. Who in this class that's coming in do you think can see the field immediately?
DeMarvin out of Converse Judson's a guy. We have him rated our number one prospect in the state overall, right just ahead of Garrett Wilson there. So I think Leo's, he's that guy that could come in and really make his presence known from the start there on that defensive front. And then, all those guys, Kenya Green, DeMarvin, or not DeMarvin, Damani and Brian Williams. I could see them stepping on the field pretty early. Eric Young, another guy out of the Houston area.
Bush.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
he's stud.
I mean,
I saw him in
big
7-on-7.
physical
Yeah.
cornerback, can play multiple positions
Yeah.
on the back end of that defense.
Yeah.
These are the kind of guys that if you watched A&M this year, the secondary needed some help, and that's a guy. Elijah Blades is a guy they flipped late from the JUCO level. That long, athletic cornerback cover. When it comes to cover corners, this is a guy you're probably going to be talking about.
On Sundays.
On Sundays there in the near future.
Well, we'll end with this question. What do you expect to see out of this Duncanville and North Shore game tonight?
Oh, it's going to be an all-out brawl. It's going to be physical. It's going to be fast, and there's going to be a lot of players making plays. Jaquinta Jackson, Chris Thompson, just to name a few on the Duncanville side. And then Big Zach Evans, I haven't seen him live and in person yet. So this is
Are any of those players on the A&M radar?
Oh, all of them. Yes, they're on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they're not, no, all of those guys are on the A&M radar, and like I said, everybody in the country is going to be going hard after all those guys.
Well, we're
All right.
excited and we're thankful, and
Appreciate
Jason,
your time.
thank you so much. brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Jason.
having me on.
All right. This is Marc Henry, Matt Davidson, Jason Howell, Lone Star Gridiron. Check us out. We're going to go check out Longview versus Beaumont West Brook now. We'll be back after that one. Appreciate it, Jason.
Always love, baby.
Good to meet you, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, so we go back down there for this one now.
Yeah, cool. Timed that a little wrong. I tried
No,
to
we're
send.
good. I'll do it.